Welcome back to my channel and a special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen and this is Jen Clayton Beauty. We do everything beauty and makeup, and today we're doing a full face of Dollar Tree makeup. Not just makeup from the Dollar Tree, but LA Colors. Now, I've done a few full faces of I've done a few of these videos in the past. Some LA Colors products are really good staples, honestly, and some of them are pretty terrible. So I stopped by my local Dollar Tree and picked up a full face. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. Turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Down in the description box, you will find my favorite beauty subscriptions, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. So let's do a full face of LA Colors from Dollar Tree. Now, like I said, a lot of LA Colors products have become staples for me, and a lot that I've tried in the past have been duds. So they do have some new things out, so I picked those up, and we're gonna test out everything from the Dollar Tree. We're gonna test everything out. Now, this entire bag of makeup cost me about $18, so not bad at all for a full face of makeup. I've already done my skincare, so I'm ready to start with foundation. So I picked up the LA Girls Liquid Makeup Complete Coverage Foundation. I picked mine up in the shade Tan. Now, the shade range of most complexion products are very limited at Dollar Tree. They had a really light, a really deep, and then a medium. So I went ahead and went with the medium. I do live in a warm climate. I do self-tan. So this looks like it's going to be a pretty decent match. I'm afraid that it might be a little bit dark, but we're gonna test it out. It does have a little pump. It doesn't look as dark as I thought. This looks like even a better match than I thought. And then I'm just going to blend that out with a beauty sponge. You know what's kind of crazy? This is a pretty much dead on match for my skin tone. Now, it blended out nicely, but I'm not getting a ton of coverage. It's definitely a very sheer light coverage. So I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the foundation and see if I can build it up to maybe more of a medium coverage. And once again, just blending that out. I was able to build it up a little bit. Definitely more of a light, maybe barely medium coverage foundation, but it looks really nice blended in. Gave me some coverage, and you can still see my little bit of glow that I have from my primer. This so far seems really nice. Now, at the end of the video, I will pop up on the screen a wear test after I've wore this makeup all day long and let you know how it held up through an entire day. But the liquid foundation seems to be really good. So next up for concealer, again, super limited shade range, but I did get the Conceal Correct Brightener. I thought that would be perfect for my under eyes in the shade yellow. So this is more of a color corrector, but it does also say that it is a concealer color corrector. It does have a doe foot. Woo! Okay, that is really yellow. I'm gonna limit that to under my eyes. I don't know that I want to apply that anywhere else. I think, like I said, I'm gonna stick with it under my eyes. Using the other end of my beauty sponge, I'm going to blend that in. Definitely brightened my under eye. I would say that it's a very sheer coverage. So similar to the foundation, I'm going to go in with just a little bit more and see if I can build that up. My other concern with this is this potential of settling into my fine lines and wrinkles. I'm 48, so I have quite a bit of fine lines and wrinkles under my eyes. So I'm hoping that this doesn't crease or settle. And then using the other end of my beauty sponge, the same one I use for foundation, I'm just going to give that a blend kind of on the cheek area and just focus that brightening under the eye. You can see that it definitely gave me some brightness and it feels good under the eye. Now, my only option for powder was pressed powder. They didn't have any loose powder, and again, they had one shade, and that was in tan. And if this looks like it's going to be a bit dark for me, but if it's similar to the foundation, it was a little bit lighter than I anticipated. This is the pressed powder with a puff applicator. So it does come with this really cheap, flimsy applicator, little puff. We're not going to use that. The packaging of this feels pretty cheap, but that's to be expected for $1.25 makeup. I'm actually going to go in with a brush to apply the powder, and I'm going to use this to set my entire face. So there is the side with powder, there's the side without. Definitely adding in some warmth, some color, but not bad. It's definitely not too deep. It actually looks like it's a really good match with that foundation to my skin tone. I am noticing that I have to keep going into the powder to get enough to actually set my complexion. It doesn't seem like the powder itself goes a long way, but my skin feels pretty good. It's a little bit tacky still, and I didn't go under my eyes. I definitely need to set that concealer. I'm just hoping this isn't too dark. That actually looks really good. And I even set my under eye with it. It doesn't look like it's settling, and it did definitely bring some warmth back into my skin. This is a little bit surprising to me. I didn't expect it to, number one, match my skin tone, and number two, give the coverage and the setting capability that it does. This seems to be really nice as well. Now, I did grab a cream contour stick, so I actually didn't set my face right here where I would apply contour or on my forehead. I set the rest of my face with powder because I want to try this out. This is the Contour Stick Define Your Features, and mine's in the shade Medium. This is new and improved, it says. So here's what it looks like. This is pretty much my skin tone with the foundation. So I don't know that I'm going to really get anything out of this contour stick as far as warmth goes. I don't know if you can even see it. I mean, I can barely see it. I guess it did add the tiniest bit of warmth to my skin. Now, if my foundation was a little bit lighter, this would definitely show up. Or if you didn't do foundation and you just like to contour and use all cream products, I probably needed to get a deeper shade in this, maybe the tan. But if I remember right, they didn't have that. I think they only had deep and medium, and deep would have definitely been too deep for me. So this is a bit of a fail. I am quickly going to set that contour. And I did pick up a powder bronzer, so we'll go over the top with the powder and see if that helps add a little bit more warmth. Now, this is new to the LA Colors line. It's the LA Colors Just Vibin Bronzer, and mine's in the shade Let's Go. I did actually pick up quite a few pieces from this Let's Vibin collection. This is brand new to Dollar Tree. Now, this bronzer shade looks like it's deep enough that it's actually going to do a little bit more than that contour stick did. Whew, that is definitely deep. I'm gonna need to blend, or it's going to just give me this dirty look to my skin. The good news is it is definitely deep enough that it's adding back in some warmth. The bad news is it might be a little bit too deep, where again, it's making my face look a little bit dirty. Let me grab my beauty sponge and just pat that in, see if I can lighten that up and make it look a little less dirty. Now, that definitely helped. It looks a little bit more bronzy than dirty, but I don't think I love the color of it. It's just muddy looking in general. And then from that same line, I picked up a blush. I thought this blush was so pretty. This is in the shade Text Me, and it's this beautiful bright pink blush. Again, the packaging is pretty cheap feeling. Ooh, that's pretty. It is Barbie Bubblegum Pink. Very pigmented though. I mean, that was one tap into the blush. It's actually pretty. It's a bit powdery, but by tapping it in, I was able to get it to sink into my skin. I do actually really like the color. And again, that was the shade Text Me. And then for highlight, this is the new and improved Instantly Radiant highlighter, and I have mine in the shade Shine Bright. Now, I've tried this particular type of highlight from LA Colors before and really liked it, so I'm hoping that this one gives me a pretty glow, but I'm able to build it up for a little bit more intense glow. Pick that up on my highlighter brush. Ooh. That's actually really pretty. I am able to get that to blend in and melt into my skin, not just necessarily sit on top of my skin. Similar to the blush, it's a little bit on the powdery side, but if I continue to blend and push it into my skin, I can get it to look more natural rather than just, again, sitting on top of my skin. but the color is really, really pretty. It's subtle when you first apply it, but you're able to go in and build it up. That's actually really pretty. Also, for eyeshadow, I picked up from the Just Vibin collection, one of their little quads. They had about 10 different color stories, and I went with the more mauvey, pinky purple quad because I thought that would be perfect with the blush. And this is the little quad called Feeling Good. Here's what it looks like. It's really, really beautiful. So there's one true matte, a matte with sparkle, which probably isn't really going to translate on the eyes. It's probably going to be more like a matte, and then 2 shimmer shades. So first I'm going into the matte, the true matte in the palette, that pinky shade, and I'm going to use that all in my crease and actually pull that up above my crease as well. I do have slightly hooded eyes, so when my eyes are open, I do want to be able to see that shade. It's going on really nicely, blending out beautifully. I definitely see the pink, I see the pigmentation, even though it's a really light color. Now I'm having to dip back into it a few times to really build it up, and you can see it's pretty powdery as I apply it. There's powder kind of flying off, and it is pretty powdery in the pan as well. So for the purple shade, definitely tap your brush off. This is light enough that you're not going to see the fallout, but with that purple shade, with this powdery, as these are, definitely tap off your brush. So I'm going to go into that deep purple shade. Yeah, it's powdery in the pan too, so tap, 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 and then I'm going to put that on the outer portion of my eye. I'm not seeing a whole lot here. Purples are typically hard to formulate. They're hard to get a lot of color and opacity, and they are typically patchy if they're not done right. And this is definitely not the most pigmented shade. So that's going in about 4 times to pick up the color. And just going in the one time, you can see I'm really, really not getting much when it comes to payoff. It's not patchy, it's just not opaque. There's really not a lot of pigmentation. But I am able, like I said, to build it up by just tapping back into the shade. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap that on the outer portion of my lid. Now that's about as good as it's going to get. So it did take a lot of work to get there, at least 6 times dipping into the pan. Now this is where I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna pick up that same brush I applied the pink with, and I'm just going to buff, and I'm just afraid I'm gonna buff it away and it'll be a nothing. I'm afraid I'm gonna buff it away to nothing. So I went very, very, very light-handed, and yeah, it's just this purple is just not there with pigmentation. Now I'm going to use my NYX glitter glue. I always use this when I apply my shimmers. I definitely want to give these shimmers the best chance possible, and that's definitely applying a glitter primer. So I'm going to tap that on my lid. Now I want to try one shimmer with my finger, one shimmer with a brush. I find that oftentimes using my finger, I can get a little bit more payoff. So I'm going to dip into that pinky mauvey shade. It's pretty, it's not super sparkly, but it's really pretty. It's mauve with a bit of a purple shift to it. Okay, that's actually prettier than I expected. It looks really nice going in with the finger. It's really giving that pigmentation and that payoff with that shimmer. Okay, that's actually really, really pretty. And now I'm going to pick up the lighter shimmer. It's kind of a speckled shade. It looks like a light pink with a little bit of a champagne shift, and I'm going to put that on the inner portion of my lid. Okay, LA Colors, that is pretty. Look how pretty that is. Wow, that actually is blending out really nicely and applying beautifully with a brush. I really like that. It brightened up the inner portion of my lid. Now I'm going to pick up that purple shade again on a little bit more flat brush, and I'm going to buff that on my lower lash line. Again, not a lot of payoff right out of the gate, but I am able to tap back in, similar to it in the outer portion of our lid, and build that up. Then I'm going to go back into that pinky purple shimmer shade and buff that on top. And then lastly, into the lighter shimmer shade, and I'm going to use that as an inner corner. One last time in with that fluffy brush, no added shadow, just kind of blending everything together. So there's the eyeshadow. I'll definitely give you my final thoughts on everything at the end. And from that Just Vibin collection, I picked up a colorful liner. I'm going to use this in my waterline. This is in the shade Kindness, and it's kind of a mauvey, pinky purple. They had a lot of colored liners, some really pretty shades like green and blue and white. They even had black, but I wanted something that I could pop into my waterline. So I did have to really kind of break the seal of the liner, but once I did, it looks really nice in the waterline. Just adds this pretty pop of plum. Like I mentioned, there are a few LA Colors products that are holy grails, and one of them is the eye marker. I actually bought 3 of these. This is my very favorite liquid felt tip liner. It's absolutely incredible. It doesn't skip. It's black. It's dark. It's really easy to use. And like I said, this and the Essence are probably my favorite. And this one is only $1.25. So if you love a felt tip liner, highly recommend the eye marker. So I'm going to go ahead and do my liner. I mean, look how easy and seamless that went on. Literally no skipping. It's dark. It's wet enough to just glide right on. I also love how firm the tip is so that you're able to draw that wing and really apply the liner seamlessly. Love, love, love this. Now, LA Colors mascaras have always been pretty much a miss for me, but this was a new one. This is new and improved lengthening mascara for more volume. I got mine in the shade Very Black. Like I said, I have never found an LA Colors mascara that I like. Let me know if you've tried one that's worked for you, but they've all been pretty much duds for me. So I don't have a lot of high expectations, but maybe with the new and improved formula, I will be pleasantly surprised. It has a nice big wand, which is my preferred. Okay, this is better so far than any other one that I've tried. So there is one coat of mascara versus no mascara. I'm impressed so far. I feel like it gave me volume, length, darkness to my lashes. I am going to let this set for a couple minutes and then go in with another coat. And I just realized that I made a mistake. So the liner that I showed you, Kindness, that I put in my waterline is actually it should have been my lip liner. So we'll use this as my lip liner, but this is what should have went in my waterline. This is the LA Colors Shimmer in Purple Shimmer. So I'm going to apply this quickly while my mascara is drying into my waterline to test it out. This we'll use as lip liner. I like this. I like this. It definitely added a little bit of shimmer and actually brightened up my waterline. So the shimmer one in the shade Purple Shimmer is for the waterline, and then again, we'll use this Kindness on our lips. So let's go into coat number 2 of the mascara. I do prefer mascara that I only have to do 2 coats with. So let's see what our final result is. Okay, LA Colors, I take it back. This mascara is actually really good. Look at the volume and length that I got. Definitely an improved formula. Definitely an improved formula. Now, my brow product from LA Colors is another holy grail for me. I love this product. This is their brow pencil. One end is a spoolie, one end is a pencil. I get mine in the shade dark brown. This is an amazing, amazing brow pencil. Now, it says new and improved. So I'm really, really hoping that they didn't do much change to the formula because it was really, really good before. So let me go ahead and brush the brows. I actually just got my brows waxed yesterday, and then we'll fill them in. Now I have a lot of brows and pretty thick, full, kind of crazy brows, so I don't need a lot out of my brow pencil other than just kind of filling in any sparse areas. As I remember, really, really good, really, really nice formula for this brow pencil. I was able to fill them in nicely, and then the spoolie end just to brush them through. They look fantastic, and this is what I remember the really good eyebrow pencil formula being. And lastly, for lips, we're gonna try Kindness out again because like I said, that is what I actually purchased for my lips. Now you could use this as an eyeliner as well if you wanted, kind of like I did initially in the waterline. And I looked at the packaging and it doesn't specifically say lip liner or eyeliner, so you could really use it for both. But I'm going to line my lips. It's actually working beautifully as a lip liner. It's creamy. I don't have to pull or tug. For a lip liner, I like it a lot. I feel like it is better served as a lip liner. The shimmer one went into the waterline a little bit smoother. This one definitely went on the lips a lot smoother. And I got a lippy from the Just Vibin' collection. They had some really beautiful lip colors. This is the Lip Balm lip color in the shade Passion. And I thought this paired beautifully with the lip liner. And it says LA Colors Lip Gloss. It smells kind of vanilla, like a sweet vanilla. Feels good on the lips. Now the doe foot itself doesn't pick up a lot of product, so I am having to dip back in multiple times. However, when I am getting the product on my lips, I love it. I love the color. And these were both part of the Just Vibin', so I'm assuming that these were meant to pair together, but look how good that looks. It feels really good, very hydrating. It's not sticky at all. I really like this lip gloss. My only complaint is it just doesn't pick up a lot of product on the doe foot, but the color, lovely. Let me go ahead and do something with my hair, set my face with some setting spray, and I'll be back to share my thoughts on this full face of LA Colors from the Dollar Tree. So here's the completed look, full face of LA Colors from Dollar Tree. Let's go over my final thoughts. Let's start with the foundation. Actually, the foundation pleasantly surprised me. Number one, that the shade matched me better than I thought that it was going to match. I figured it would be much more sheer than it is. It's definitely a sheer to light coverage, buildable to maybe a light, barely medium coverage, but it applied really nice to the skin. It looks really nice. It's not patchy. It didn't settle. It actually looks really nice on the skin. At the end of the final thoughts, I'll put up on the screen a wear test, but so far I'm really liking this. I also am surprised about the concealer. Now, when I first applied it, I thought, oh my goodness, that's yellow, but it actually blended out really nicely, brightened my under eye. Like I said, I was able to layer it up and get a little bit brighter look. I definitely wouldn't use this as a concealer. I wouldn't apply it to the face, but under the eyes, it's great. It corrects any redness. It corrects any darkness. And like I said, added a nice brightening to my under eye. I've been wearing this makeup for a while now, and I don't see it settling into my fine lines. So far, so good. I enjoyed this as well. Now, the pressed powder is another thing that kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be way too dark, and it wasn't. It actually applied nicely to the skin. You do have to use a lot of product. So I don't know how long that this is going to last you, because you do have to dip back in several times to get enough powder to set everything. But even setting my under eyes with this, which usually I use a brightening under eye powder, it looks really nice. Again, no settling into my fine lines at all. So another product that honestly surprised me. Contour stick was probably my least favorite thing in this full face of Dollar Tree, because it's just not dark enough for me. And that could be my fault buying the wrong shade. Again, there's not a lot of shade options at Dollar Tree. I'm going to test this out when I have a lighter foundation, or maybe when I'm not as tan, to see if it performs a little bit better. It did blend out really nicely. It was very creamy. It didn't settle weird in the skin. It's just a little bit too light for me to use as a contour. And the opposite was with the bronzing powder. This is a little bit too dark for me. I think the shade is too deep. And like I said, it gave this muddy look to the skin. Now, I was able to kind of tap it in and blend it out with my beauty sponge. That definitely helped make it look less muddy on the skin. The formula of this seems really nice. I just maybe needed a little bit lighter shade, but I'm going to try this out again. I did use, again, I used that darker setting powder, so maybe if I use my normal setting powder, it won't be as muddy looking, but overall it was a nice bronzer. It just may not be the right shade for me. Now, I love the blush. The blush is really pretty. Like I said, it's a little bit powdery, but I was able to tap it into my skin, and I actually really like the color of it. It's definitely that Barbie bubblegum pink. This was a surprising thing as well. I like this more than I thought that I would. Same goes with the highlight. I mean, can we just talk about the highlighter? What I appreciate is it did melt into my skin. It doesn't look like it's just sitting on my skin. Now, it is going to accentuate texture like most highlighters do, but the formula of this is really good. And for $1.25, I would say this is like a $20, $25 highlighter. And what I look for mainly is payoff where I'm able to build it up and get a seen from space highlight, and the fact that it just doesn't sit on the skin. Now the eyeshadow quad was okay. There's good things about it and there's not so good things about it. The light pink matte I thought was even more pigmented than I expected, but the purple matte definitely is much more sheer than I was hoping. Going into it 6 times, I still wasn't able to get the depth that I like in my outer corner, but I did really like both the shimmer. So really the purple shade to me is really kind of the only dud in the palette. I mean, I was able to make it work. It's not patchy, it's just not very deep and opaque and pigmented. But the rest of the palette was pretty nice. So I would say overall this palette is a win, just the purple shade isn't my personal favorite. I do like the little shimmer pencil in the waterline. I actually like it a lot. It added a little bit of brightness to my waterline. I may actually pick up a few more of these colors because it went on really nicely, very creamy and very pigmented. Now we already know the eye marker is a holy grail for me. I love this. It's so good. I mean, I can't rave about it enough. If you are a felt tip liner user, you have got to try this. I have tried high-end felt tip liners. I've tried liners mid-range like Clinique and Urban Decay and KVD. This is far more superior than those, and it's $1.25. Hence why I bought 3 of them. Now she surprised me. Like I said, I have never found an LA Colors mascara that I remotely liked. This one's good. Like, it's good. My eyelashes look amazing. They look long, they look dark, they've got volume. I really like this. I would definitely buy this mascara again. Now she's a small tube, which the thing about mascara is you should use it up in a couple of months. It shouldn't be sitting around for a long time. So that's about the lifespan of this mascara, and it's $1.25. So I definitely was pleasantly surprised. And then I love her as well. The brow pencil, even though it says new and improved formula, it's equally as good as the old one. This is such a fantastic product. Again, there's no reason to buy $15, $20, $30 brow pencils when you can buy one at the Dollar Tree, and it filled in my brows nicely. It's a perfect shade for me. It's small enough and creamy enough that you can draw in hairline strokes if needed. Love. Now the liner as waterline, not my favorite. As lip liner, yes, it is creamy, it's beautiful, it's such a nice shade, and then paired with the lip gloss, this is really a beautiful lip combo. I can see myself wearing this a lot, and I thought both of these products performed really nicely. So overall, this was quite a surprise, a pleasant surprise. I enjoyed most of the products from the Dollar Tree, and like I said, a full face of makeup for under $20, you can't beat it, especially when a lot of these products were huge wins and a couple holy grails for me as well. Let me know down below, what do you think of my look? Have you tried any of these products? Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on, because I do upload new videos multiple days every single week. I also have my favorite beauty boxes and TikTok. Come follow me for more beauty and makeup. I'll go ahead and pop up here on the screen a wear test of the products, let you know how they wore throughout throughout the entire day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.